Hey, hi guys, welcome back. This is Rekha. So in today's video, we will understand array and types of array. So first, we will understand what is array. So in Java, array is an object which contains elements of similar data type and which has contiguous memory location. So we will understand each and every word. So it is saying array is an object in Java. Why it is saying array is an object in Java? Because we are creating an object in Java to store the values, to define this length. See, right? Second point, it is saying which contains element, which contains elements of similar data type. Means if you are defining here data type int, then you can store the element only in integer type. And if you are defining here char, then you can store only character type, right? Only characters you can store. And if you are defining here a string, then you can store only string values. But whatever data type you will define here, declare here, then you can use only that type of element, right? So that's why it is saying which contains elements of similar data type. And last point is which has contiguous memory location. Why it is saying which has contiguous memory location means all the values will store sequence wise, right? It will maintain insertion order. Means suppose that we have a values 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So it will insert the values sequence wise. It will maintain the insertion order. See, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It is storing the value index wise 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we have understand this. Now array has some advantages and there are some drawbacks, right? So first we will understand what all advantages are there. So first advantage is we can store multiple values, right? So earlier what we were doing, we were using primitive data type there. We were defining like int a is equal to 10, right? We were doing like this, right? So there we can store only one value, but in array we can store multiple values. Let me show you. See, so we have defined only one reference variable here, right? Here we have defined only one reference variable, but we have a so many values here. We have a 5 values and all 5 values getting stored in one reference variable, this array, right? So that's why we are saying we can store multiple values. And second point is saying array is faster than primitive data type. Why it is saying faster than primitive data type? Because in primitive data type, what we were doing, let's say I want to store 5 values in primitive data type. So what we will have to do, we'll take integer data type and we will take one reference variable. A is equal to, let's say I have stored 10, right? And then v is equal to 20, c is equal to 30 and d is equal to 40, e is equal to 50, right? So here what we are doing in primitive data type, we are taking 5 reference variable A, B, C, D, E, right? And we are storing 5 values with 5 reference variable in primitive data type. But in array, what we are doing, all values we are storing in one reference variable, this array, right? And we can print it. So that's why it is saying array is faster than primitive data type, right? Array is faster than primitive data type. And third point is it is saying random access. We can randomly access those values, right? And last point is saying code optimization, means we can retrieve the data and we can store the data, right? And there are some drawbacks. So what all drawbacks are there? These are the drawbacks. First one is size limit, means once you declare the value 8 here, let's say here I am declaring the value 5, right? So once you assign this value, then you cannot store the value more than 5. You can store till 5 only. This is the first drawback. And what is the second drawback? It is saying array can be waste their memory. Why it is saying it can waste their memory? Because if you have declare here 5, right? Size, length you have declare 5, but you have only 3 data to store. So remaining 2 data, for remaining 2 data, memory will be lost, right? Because you have declared here 5, but you are storing only 3 data. So remaining 2 memory location will waste, right? So that's why it is saying array can be waste their memory, right? And third point, it is saying array can store only similar data type. So as I already have explained here, if you are declaring integer, then you can store only integer data type, integer type of element. And if you are declaring here character, then you can store only characters, right? So this is third drawback, right? Array can store only similar data type. And third, what it is, fourth, what it is saying, if we want to add, remove the element, then we will have to traverse the elements. Means, let's say, suppose that I want to add any value at index 3, right? So what we will have to do, if I will store any other value at index position third, then whatever the value are there at this position third, it will shift on fourth, and fourth index value will shift on fifth. It will traverse all the values, right? And let's say suppose that if I want to remove any value, let's say I want to remove a value this 30 at position second. So what we will have to do, if I'll remove this value, then this third position value will shift on second, and fourth index value will shift on third, fifth one will shift on fourth index. So lot of shifting will be required. So that's why it is saying if we want to add or remove the element, then we will have to traverse the elements. So these are the drawbacks in array. And there are two types of array. One is single dimensional array and second one is multi-dimensional array. So in single dimensional array, how we can declare the value? So there are many ways, 3 to 4 ways are there to declare values. So whatever you feel better, you can use it. So first we have taken this data type. So here you can take any data type, like suppose that I am using integer, so I can use int, and this bracket and then reference variable you can take. So this is the first way. Second way, data type space and then bracket and then reference variable. And third type is data type space reference variable and then bracket. So these are the three way you can choose, you can take any of them, right? And how we can create, this is how we can create an object. We can take one, we can take data type and then reference variable and then is equal to new data type, and then we can assign the value size here, length of the array, right? So this is how we can declare the values in single dimensional array. So let me show you by doing a coding, by doing a program. So I will create one package first. With the name of array. Package name always will start from small letter array and then concept. So there are two way to create single dimensional array. How? There are two ways. Let me show you first. So first way is by creating an object. So first how we are doing? We are creating an object like this, right? And second way is we can declare the values here only in the when we assign this reference variable, right? In the reference variable only we can assign the values. So there are two way to do to store the values. So whatever you feel better, you can use it. I will show you both the way. So I will go with first one first. So let me create a program with the name of single dimensional array. So this is our class. Now I'll create main method, right? And after creating a main method, first in the definition what it is saying, array is an object in Java. So I will create an object first. So first I will take data type int, right? And after taking a data type, you can use any of this declaration, right? Whatever you feel better, you can use it from here, from this, right? So I will use this one, this last one. You can use any of them, right? So I'm using the last one. So first data type I'm taking, then space, and then I'm taking reference variable. So let's say reference variable, I'm taking this array, ARR, and then I'm taking this bracket, right? Is equal to, now I will create an object. How we can create an object? By using this new keyword, int, new int, right? Now we will have to define the size, means length. So let's say I'm assigning the length 5. So now we can store only 5 values, not more than that. If you store, if you want to store more than this 5, then you cannot store. It will give you it will give you an error. What error it will throw? It will give you array out of bound exception. I will show you that as well. So first, how we can assign the value, how we can store the value. So first, I will take this reference variable and, right. So let's say how it store the values. It store the values index wise, right? So let's suppose that our index value is 0 at position index 0. I want to store the value 10, right? I am going to store the values like this only, right? So at position 0 index, I am storing the value 10. Same I am doing here as well. Now at position 1, we have a value 20. And this is a reference variable where we are storing the values, right? So again, ARR reference variable and then index value 1. So at index position 1, we are storing the value 20, right? In the same way, at index position 2, we are going to store the value 30. Same for at index position 3rd, we are storing the value 40. And at index position 4, we are going to store the value 50. So index value always will start from 0, right? So we are storing the 5 value here. So it will start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we have assigned total 5 values, right? Now what we will have to do for printing these values? So for printing these values, we will have to use for loop. So I will use this for loop, int I is equal to 0. Why I'm putting I is equal to 0? Because our index start from 0 only, right? Now I is less than 5, right? Why I'm putting I is less than 5? It will print less than 5. because it will start from 0 and it will run till 4. That's why I'm putting here I is less than 5, right? And then I plus plus, right? Now I want to print the value. Which value I want to print? This array of I, this I we are going to print. So now sys out, and here we will this reference variable, and then here we are going to print I. I, what it is going to indicate? It is going to indicate index value, right? So it will store the values index wise, right? So now let me run this program and see the output. See, we are getting all the values, right? So let's suppose I want to add one more value. Array 5 is equal to, let's say I want to store one more value, that 60 as well I want to store. Then what we will have to do? Then here we have to increase here, right? 6, but we are storing here 6 values, right? We want to print 6 values, but here we have assigned only 5 position, only length is only 5. So we can store only 5 values, but here I am storing one extra value, 60. It will give an output correct, but along with that output, it will give an error as well. So let's see the output. Okay, so output itself it is not giving. What it is saying? Exception in thread main java.lang array index out of bound exception. Index 5 out of bound for 5 length, right? So here we were trying to store this extra value, right? So if you are assigning, if you already have declared the size, then you cannot run more than that, right? So once I increase the size, then I am able to print the value, this one, right? So this is the drawback. So if you are, this is a limitation, size limitation. Once you declare this size, then you cannot store more than that, right? Let's suppose that I have stored here, I have defined the length 6, right? But I don't want to add these values. I will remove this, right? So, and I will put here 4. So what will happen? It will give the correct output. No doubt it will give the correct output. But I have defined here 6, right? But here we are storing only 4 values. So for the remaining 2 values, memory will be lost. It will be waste, right? So this is the drawback. See, first drawback is size limit. Second one is array can be waste their memory. And third one is, it is saying array can store only similar data type. Let's see this one as well. So let's suppose at position 4, I want to store some character value, right? Let me run this program. So now it is a 5. So I will put here 5. Now let me run this program and see the output. See, so it has stored till here, right? 10, 20, 30 and 40. Till 40 it has printed correctly, right? But for the D value it has printed 100, because this character value it is converting into integer, right? So this is how we cannot take another data type values, right? Array can store only similar data type. So if you are using any character, then it will convert into this integer. So let me take this string as well. Let's see what happened. let's say I want to print some name like Peter. This is a string, right? And what array it is saying? Type mismatch, cannot convert from string into int, right? See, it is saying cannot convert from string to int, but this character it can convert, right? If I put, if I want to search ASCII values of D, then it is saying 100. See, so that's why it is printing here 100. Here I took this D here. So here it is, since this array contains only similar data type element, right? So here I was using this character. So what it is doing, this character value it is converting into integer. So we have a ASCII values of this D. So if I'm searching on Google ASCII value of D, then it is saying 100. So that's why it is giving an output 100. But now if I want to take a string data type, then it will not be able to convert. This is how it is printing here, error. Convert, cannot convert from string to int, right? So this is the first type. So this other data type we cannot use. We can use only similar data type. So I'll remove this. Now we can see another way, right? This is the first way. So far we have seen this one, right? This one while creating an object. Now we can see this one, how we can declare the values, right? So what I will do, I will comment this out. This code I will comment this out, and I will comment this as well, right? Now I will show you in this way. So I'll copy. No, we cannot copy. It's a screenshot. Okay. So now this is another way. So I'm taking a data type int, and then reference variable I'm taking same, right? You can take anything. Let's say you can take here a as well. You can take anything here, right? Is equal to. Now you can declare the values here as well, right? Let's suppose that I want to print 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, right? So this is the another way. And now what we can do, we can, if we want to run, if we want to print all the values, then we can use either for loop or you can use for each loop. So for loop we already have used here. So now I will show you with the help of for each loop. So I will take data type int and then reference variable I, and then here I will take this array A, right? Now I will print this value, right? Here I will print this value of I, right? Now we can run this program. See, it is giving an output 10, 20, 30, 40, right? And let's suppose that if you want to print any particular single value, let's suppose that I want to print the value only 30. So 30 is at index value 2, right? Because at 0th position we have a 10, at index 1 we have a 20, at index 2 we have a 30. So what we can do, how we can print this value? Sys out, and we can print like this array, and array we can say at position 2, right? We need a value at position 2. So if I want to print some statement here, then we can give here value of index position 2, right? Now we can run this program, right? See, so first it is printing all values here with the help of this for each loop, and the second one is it is printing the value at index position second, this 30, right? Here you can put like this, at index position second. Yeah, so I have showed you both the way, right? This is how we can use this single dimensional array. Now we will see the multi-dimensional array. Single dimensional array we have completed now. So now we can start with multi-dimensional array. If you want to store the values in a matrix form, then you can use multi-dimensional. So how we can declare the syntax? The syntax we can use in a way. First, you can use data type, and then bracket, and then use reference variable. Reference variable you can take anything, right? This is a declaration. We can say declaration, right? In a second way, how you can do data type, and then you can give some space, and then this bracket, right? One bracket we are using for row, and second one is using for column, right? And then we can use this reference variable here without giving any space, right? This is a second way. And third way, how you can do data type. Data type you can give, and then reference variable, and then you can use this bracket, right? The last way, how you can use this data type, and then you can give some space, and then this bracket, and then this reference variable, again use for bracket for column. So there are four ways to declare this multidimensional array. So you can use any of them, whatever you feel comfortable, right? So how we can instantiate, how we can create an object. So first I will take a data type, right? So I refer this one. I usually use this one, right? So I'm taking a data type, and then this, right? And then we'll give this reference variable. So reference variable you can take anything, right? So let me take arr is equal to new, and then again data type, right? So let's suppose I am giving some size for a row and column. Let's say I'm taking a row 3 and column I'm taking 2, right? So this 3 we are using for row, and 2 we are using for column, right? So how we can store the value? How it will initialize the multidimensional array? So it will initialize like this. Like suppose that I'm taking this array, right? ARR, and 0th row I'm taking row 0 and column 0, right? At 0th row and 0th column I am assigning some value. Let's suppose that I am assigning value 10, right? And 0th row and first column assigning value 20. So likewise you can assign all the values, these three row and 2 column, right? You can assign all the values. So this is the way to store the value. right? So we can see in the program. So let me create a program. So there are two way. In a same way like I have showed you in a single dimensional array, same way we will do the programming in multidimensional as well. So there are two way to initialize the value. We first we can create an object and we can assign the value for the row and column. And second one, we can put the value like this, right? So there are two way. We will create a program in both the way. So let me create a program for multidimensional as well. Multi-dimensional array, right? So how we can do it? So let's suppose that I already have created an class. Now we can create a main method, and first we will create a object. So how we can create an object? So first data type, and then we can take this bracket and then reference variable is equal to, we can create an object now, new, and then data type. We have created this bracket for row. Let's suppose that I'm taking a 3 row and 3 column, right? So now how we can store the value? So internally how it will work, right? So it will work like this. Array, suppose that at 0th index and 0th column, I am assigning the value. Let's suppose that 5, right? And again, I will take now first row and 0th column, assigning the value. Let's suppose that 7 I'm assigning, right? So in the same way, let me create multiple values, right? So now this is for 0th row, this is for first row. Now I will take the row again, 0. Now I will take 0th row and first column. And value, let me assign some 9 value, let's say. Right? Now what I will do? Now I will take 0th row and second column. Second column. Let me assign some value. Here 11. Right? Now I am taking first row and first column. At first row and first column, let me assign value some 12. Right? Now at first row and second column, assigning value, let's say 13. Right? Now I'm taking row 2 and column 0 and assigning value some 14. Right? And then I will take second row and second column. No, 0th column I have taken. Now I will take column 1 and row 2, right? And I will assign some value like 15. Now I will take one more row and column, that is second row and second column, and value I'll put some 16. So how it is storing the value? Let me create one. Let me open the paint first. Right? So let's suppose that this is a 3 by 3. 3 row and 3 column. I have assigned the value here, right? 3 row and 3 column. So in the same way, I have created this table, right? So suppose that this is a 0 row, sorry, 0 row, sorry, 0 column, 0th column, and this is a 0th row. Now this is a first row and this is a second row, and this is a first column, right? And this is a second column, right? Now let me go into the programming. What it is saying, 0 row, 0 column, value should be 5. So I will go at 0 row and 0 column. What is the value? 5, right? Now again come back in this program. First row and 0 column value will be 7. So first row, 0 column value will be 7 here, right? Now 0 row first column means 0 row first column value is 9, right? And 0 row second column value is 11. 0 row and second column, right? Now first row and first column. First row and first column value will be 12, right? Now first row and second column value will be 13. So first row and second column value will be 13. Now what is the value at second row and 0 column? Second row and 0 column value is 14. Now what we need? Second row and first column. Second row first column value is 15. Now what we need? We need value for second row and second column. Value is 16. So we need output like this. So let me complete this program and then run this program, right? So first I will create a for loop. I will use this for loop for row, right? So int I is equal to 0, right? And I is less than 3. So we have taken a row 3. So that's why I'm taking the value 3. And then I plus plus. Now we will use the for loop for column to print the column. So again int j is equal to 0 and j is less than 3 colon and j plus plus. So this is for column, right? Now how we can print this value? This out. So first reference variable, I have used ARR, and then here I'm printing the value row. For the row I have used for loop this I1, so I will take I. Now for the column I have used J, right? Now I'll give some space here, right? Now I'm not using println here. I will use print, right? So that it will print in row wise. And now here I will use system.out.println to moving in next line, right? So let me run this program and see the output. See, so it is giving output like this. So let me match this with this output. So what it is giving? 5, 9, 5, 9, 11. 5, 9, 11 in first row. Second row, 7, 12, 13, 7, 12, 13, and 14, 15, 16, 14, 15, 16. So we are getting correct output. So this is a multi-dimensional array. So we can create a program in another way as well. So let me show you in another way. Multi-dimension array, right? So again, I will create a main method, right? Now, how we can declare the value? We can declare int, and then we can take reference variable, and then we can take this, right? And is equal to, we can use this curly braces, and in the one curly braces, we will give all a row. So this is first row. Suppose that I'm taking a value 3, 4, 3, comma 4, comma 5. This is a first row, and second row I'll put in another curly braces. Let's say 6, comma 7, comma 8, right? So this is a second row. Now I'm going to create third row. So in the third row, let's suppose that I'm giving the value 9, comma 10, comma 11. So again, here I'm taking 3 by 3, means 3 row and 3 column, right? So let me again, same for loop and same everything will be there. So I'm copying from here and pasting over there, right? So this is for row and this is for column, and here we are printing the value of I and j, and this is for new line, right? So let me run this program. See, it is giving an output. First row 3, 4, 5, second row 6, 7, 8, right? And third row this, right? So this is the second way. So this is the first way. You can use either this way by creating this object, and second way by declaring the value here, right? So there are two way. So if you want to create 4 into 4, then you can declare one more value here, right? 6. Let's suppose I want to give here 9, and here I want to give some 12, right? So here I will have to increase the value, right? 4 and 4. Let me run this program. See, it is giving an output. Same output it is giving 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And for this as well. But it is saying index 3 out of bound length. Why it is saying? Because it is fixed in size, right? So initially we have assigned 3, so that's why it is fixed in size. So that's why we have a drawback right here, size limit. So that's why we are getting this array index out of bound exception, but we are getting the correct output. It is giving correct output. After that it is warning to us, right? So now we have completed. If you have any doubt, then you can ask in the comment. Thank you guys.